Alright. Okay, let me wait for a second, like a minute, I guess. Those that are watching days later on. Okay, okay. Hold on, let me wait for some viewers, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Anyways. Oh shit, one like. Okay, I guess someone is watching it. I don't know why they didn't show me the views. The fuck? Okay, we are live. What up, chat? I said, what's good, John? How you doing? All right, so guys, you know, this is a Gnostic YouTube channel. Like we discover some shit, like some ancient mythology shit, and we have to talk about this. We have to talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh. Well, in Portland, Oregon. Nice, yeah, Portland, Oregon. Okay. Now, like I said, now, if those that are not familiar with the Epic of Gilgamesh, let's just say the Epic of Gilgamesh is like the oldest versions. I guess you can say the most. It kind of proves that all mythologies came out from the same source out of Christianity when you figure out like the stories of it. And there are some like other texts that's connected to the Epic of Gilgamesh, some Babylonian stuff. Like, let me point out, because what we're about to talk about, then you'll be like, oh, okay, when you figure out how like it's connected to like some biblical stuff. Okay, hang on. Lucky, what are you doing? I'm trying to like, the hell? Wait, what the hell? Can the man just relax on his YouTube channel? I guess Lucky. Hey, Lucky, you want to be with us in the YouTube channel? We're talking about the Epic of Gilgamesh. You should listen to this as well. Here. The Triceratops wants to join as well. Beef! What was that? Yeah, what was that? Yeah, what was that? Anyways, I guess we got Lucky here. I don't know, he was sniffing my feet. And oh yeah, like I was just trying to say, those that remember, hey, before we start this, I still have it. Yeah, it was my fuck ice time. Yeah, so those that didn't currently, yeah, it says fuck guys. Before like I put like the stickers. Oh yeah, when I was there at that protest, yeah, I was given some stickers like fuck guys, no humans legal, and fuck Trump. Yeah. Yeah, Lucky. All right, let's get to it. So yeah, holy shit, 14 views. All right, so yeah, we're gonna talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh. So let me explain about Gilgamesh. This is like Babylonian mythology, Sumerian, Mesopotamia, yeah. So we'll be talking about it. So yeah, the Epic of Gilgamesh. So those that are wondering, who is Gilgamesh? So Gilgamesh is this Babylonian king who will be known worldwide as one of like the world's greatest legend, like not world's greatest, but as a legendary hero, like a legendary warrior. So, oh yeah, and similar to like in the Bible, Gilgamesh, I guess you could say he's sort of like a Nephilim, but no. Nephilims are not even mentioned in Babylonian mythology, but like he's known to be like a really giant man because like when you figure out his ancestry, he's technically a demigod because his mother was one of the goddesses of Babylonian mythology. So I guess yeah, a Nephilim, like a Babylonian version of a Nephilim, but no, just a demigod, I guess. But oh yeah, for about Gilgamesh, let me think. Oh yeah, similar to that, like in the Bible, like how there's Goliath. Now those that are wondering, like how that's like one thing that Christianity let out because from like when they banned like the Book of Enoch. Oh hi, King BRJ, how you doing? When the Christians, like the first ones that believe that Jesus came from God, when they banned like the Book of Enoch, they kind of like left out like Goliath because if you when you know like what Nephilims are, then you realize that Goliath was a Nephilim because when you think about like when the story of David and Goliath, they said that Goliath was this fucking giant ass like warrior, like he was like giant than his army or giant than like the Israelites. So yeah, you can tell Goliath was technically a Nephilim giant, descendants from the Watchers, whatever, yeah, Archons or whatever. But yeah, and what you're about to hear about the Epic of Gilgamesh, yeah, it's technically when you realize the Book of Genesis is technically a ripoff of the Epic of Gilgamesh, because when the Christians wrote about like the Book of Genesis about like Noah's Ark and other stuff, Babylonian has a fucking flood myth as well that is older than the Book of Genesis. Hold on. The Epic of Gilgamesh. So yeah. Oh shit, I was just searching up. And yeah, it shows my live. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Gilgamesh, he was still a legendary hero to remember. So yeah. And kind of Gilgamesh, yeah, he was first like a bad guy at first. Like he was like a fucking tyrant, I guess you could say. So, but then let's just get with it. Then you guys will understand.
Many ages ago, when the ancient gods ruled the world, there was a mighty Sumerian king named Gilgamesh. While ruler of the great city of Uruk, Mesopotamia, Gilgamesh built
Oh yeah, like I was just hang on, let me pause
ziggurat
that.
temples.
Like I was just trying to say, when you figure out like Gilgamesh answered like where he was from, Gilgamesh is from Iraq. So because yeah, Babylonians in Iraq. So yeah, it kind of involves some like Islam. I guess you could say, yeah, Islamic, Middle Eastern stuff of where Gilgamesh is from. Even if you want to search up an ancient image of like who Gilgamesh was, then you could see like his long ass build and long ass beard, and you could tell like he's probably some fucking like Zoroastrian, Persian, Islamic, yeah.
Surrounded his city with high walls and planted many orchards of rare fruits. But Gilgamesh was no ordinary man. He was a demigod, son of the priest king Lugalbanda and the goddess Ninsun. Gilgamesh was an exemplary creature, taller than all other people,
Yeah, like
with
I said.
magnificent beauty and uncommon physical strength.
Hi, I'm Mick Helen Melnazet. Sorry, I don't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it, but hi, welcome to the live stream. How you doing?
Even though he was a demigod and had a longer than normal lifespan, Gilgamesh was not immortal. Despite his physical qualities, Gilgamesh had an
It's okay, it's
arrogant
McKelly.
personality.
All right, yeah,
And acted
appreciate it.
as a proud and haughty tyrant. With no one to stop and challenge him, he abused his authority as king, demanding to
Hang on,
be
sorry guys,
idolized
hang
by
on. Let me put my phone do not disturb because I'm trying. Actually, no, just in case if someone wants to like call inside the live stream. Hang on. Shut the fuck up. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna put my do not disturb.
Gilgamesh had an arrogant personality and acted as a proud and haughty tyrant. With
like
no one to stop and challenge him, he abused his authority as king, demanding to be idolized by the people.
Thank you.
And ordering the construction of monuments in his honor. And he seduced any woman who attracted him, even if she was of the nobility or married.
Okay, so what you're hearing first, this was before he started his story. So yeah, at first he was like a fucking asshole, but I'm not saying like I'm hating him. Like soon, like he befriends like another monster, then like they become like homies, then that's the beginning of the story where Gilgamesh becomes like a hero. But like, just hang on.
The population of the city of Uruk gradually began to despise the king. In their prayers to the gods, they begged to be saved from Gilgamesh's cruelty and lewdness. The powerful celestial god Anu felt pity for the humans and ordered
Anu, one of
the goddess of vegetation, to engineer a creature to rival Gilgamesh. Using a portion of clay, the goddess Aruru fashioned a hybrid being, a mixture of man and animal, named Enkidu. With a hairy primitive appearance and bold.
Oh yeah, Enkidu. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The monster that like meets up with Gilgamesh and they fight and they become friends. Friends, bros. Hi, how you doing?
Horns on his head. Enkidu lived like an animal in the woods and plains of Sumer. He ate grass next to the gazelles and drank water from rivers side by side with lions. All the animals knew and obeyed Enkidu. He became a protector of wildlife, but did not know how to approach human beings. Upon hearing stories about the appearance of a large and strong man, Gilgamesh decided to send Shamat, a priestess from the temple of Uruk, to inquire into the case and try to seduce that mysterious man. The goal was to take away his purity granted by the goddess. To the priestess's surprise, Enkidu was as impressive as Gilgamesh, and she quickly fell in love with him. After 7 days and 7 nights of sultry love, Enkidu became civilized. He learned to wear clothes and eat food like humans. After that, Shamat told him about the existence of Gilgamesh and his reign of tyranny. A great wedding was about to take place in the city of Uruk. But, as usual, Gilgamesh appeared and demanded to possess the bride before the wedding. To the relief of the bride and groom, Enkidu appeared from among the crowd. He had arrived in the city, guided by the priestess Shamat. Gilgamesh and Enkidu entered a furious argument about the disrespectfulness of interfering in a marriage of two people who loved each other. For the first time in his life, Gilgamesh found someone able to strike back at him. This made him angry. Anticipating the ensuing mayhem, the crowd quickly moved away from the scene, leaving the two giants face to face. Gilgamesh was the first to resort to violence. The two powerful beings exchanged blows. The epic fight between the two demigods lasted for 7 uninterrupted days. Destroyed
I mean, Enkidu, he was sort of like more than a demigod. He was like sort of like a goofy ass like looking monster. But hey, I'm not saying like disrespect him. Like he was still like an ally. Like he was actually like one of the heroes of like Babylonian mythology alongside with Gilgamesh. So like he was sort of like a man, like a beast man, like Beast Man from He-Man, for example. But except like not like evil, like a servant to Skeletor or some shit. But yeah, he's technically a demigod because he was technically created by the hands of a goddess. So yeah, that technically makes him divine. So
several houses in the city. Each punch landed by the two titans was enough to kill 5 human
Lions like
warriors,
Nephilim.
but neither seemed to give in, and inevitably they began to admire each other. Gilgamesh finally managed to strike a clean blow and knocked Enkidu down. But instead of exterminating his opponent, Gilgamesh reached out and helped Enkidu to his feet. Both were proud of the great fight and embraced each other, beginning an eternal friendship. From that day on, Gilgamesh became a more just king and stopped tormenting his people.
see, yeah,
In the following
that's
years,
the beginning of the
Gilgamesh
story.
and Enkidu traveled through many unknown lands, where they had a great many adventures together, defeating monsters and heroes of all kinds. But one thought hovered over Gilgamesh's mind. He knew the two of them were growing old and would one day have to face death. To immortalize their names, Gilgamesh asked Enkidu to travel to the cedar forest, where the powerful demon Humbaba lived, a being so dreadful and dangerous that even the gods respected him. Humbaba had never left the forest and had not committed any action likely to provoke Gilgamesh's attack. Still, he had to defend himself against his attackers. When they saw the demon Humbaba, the pair of demigods were paralyzed with terror, for they had never seen such a terrifying creature. Trying to gain courage, Gilgamesh attacked him with his axe. After a few attempts, he wounded the monster sideways. Enkidu used a spear to deliver the fatal blow to Humbaba's throat, ending the nightmarish bout. Before dying, Humbaba cursed them both, saying that one of them would die as punishment for what they had done. Although Gilgamesh and Enkidu had accomplished a great feat, Humbaba's death angered the gods. Still, Gilgamesh and Enkidu returned to the city of Uruk, where they planned to celebrate the event. But an unexpected guest appeared during the party. Ishtar, goddess of love, beauty, war, and fertility, was impressed by Gilgamesh's handsomeness and strength, and decided to make him her lover.
Oh yeah, Ishtar in Babylon. Yeah, Ishtar is like, I guess you can say like that fucking horny ass gods like Aphrodite and Lilith. Hey, hey, what are you doing? Hey, pissy, Lucky, what are you doing? We're trying to, what the fuck? Hey, we're trying to talk about some Epic of Gilgamesh over here. You want to join or not? The fuck? Weird ass cat. But yeah, like I say, Ishtar was like the Babylonian the Babylonian version of Aphrodite or Lilith, except
Despite her enormous charm, Ishtar failed to seduce Gilgamesh. He rejected her, claiming that he was aware that all of Ishtar's other lovers had died horrible deaths. Ishtar was furious at Gilgamesh's boldness and swore revenge. Ishtar asked her father, the celestial god Anu, for help,
oh, Anu,
begging him to
fucking
send the most powerful creature of all to kill Gilgamesh and Enkidu. The god Anu sent the bull of heaven to earth to destroy the city of
hello,
Uruk and
Esbos
Gilgamesh. The
2012.
bull came down from heaven,
Oh, the Ball
bringing
of
with
Heaven.
it 7 years of famine and natural disasters, such as hurricanes and earthquakes. The people of Uruk quickly pleaded with Gilgamesh and Enkidu to destroy the celestial beast. The huge confrontation between the two demigods and the strong divine bull shook all of Mesopotamia. Gilgamesh and Enkidu used the same weapons with which they defeated the demon Humbaba, and together they killed the bull of heaven. As a sign of contempt, Gilgamesh cut off one of the bull's legs and threw it at the feet of the goddess Ishtar, who was watching the fight from a distance. Not only was Ishtar angry, but the other gods rebelled against Gilgamesh and Enkidu, deciding to punish them. After deliberating about what had happened, the gods decided that Enkidu would have to die, because he was the one who had held the bull of heaven by the horns for Gilgamesh to give the animal the final blow. A few days later, Enkidu fell gravely ill and realized that his death was near. Seeing his best friend in that situation, Gilgamesh became desperate, asking the best doctors in the kingdom to find a cure, but to no avail. Enkidu died in agony, delirious in Gilgamesh's arms, and Gilgamesh wept bitterly for days.
We have got to the point where
Hey, what the
literally anybody
fuck?
can build a fully working app without knowing how to code.
Come on.
Enkidu's death made Gilgamesh fear for his existence. The dread of the end made him begin a search for the secret of immortality and a way to
Oh, come on. I don't do Reddit.
resurrect Enkidu. He traveled far, through mountains and deserts, hoping to find Utnapishtim, the man who survived the Great Flood and
Oh,
was
hang on.
rewarded by the god.
Okay, when they said who survived the Great Flood, yeah, that's their version of like Noah's Ark. So that's one point of like what I mean, like how the Epic of Gilgamesh was sort of like the original book of Genesis, because similar to Noah's Ark, like hang on, they're not like fucking. Let me get the chosen ones so I can understand it. See, like the most oldest like flood myth of all time, because like hang on, where the fuck is it? It's gonna take me a while. When they say like who survived the Great Flood, like hang on. Yeah, the Aphrosos, the world's oldest flood myth. Yeah. So like that's like one thing that's similar to like the Bible, the Noah's Ark flood.
With immortality. With the help of the boatman Urshanabi, Gilgamesh crossed a huge lake of poisonous waters, finally reaching the home of the immortal Utnapishtim. But, to Gilgamesh's disappointment, Utnapishtim explained to him that only the gods could grant eternal life. Even so, there was a miraculous plant in the depths of the sea, capable of rejuvenating whoever ate it, prolonging their lifespan. Gilgamesh dived into the sea and found the plant. But when he returned to the surface, he left it on the banks of a lake while he bathed to purify himself from the long journey. And something terrible happened. A common snake, attracted by the plant's sweet smell, devoured it. When Gilgamesh noticed what had happened, it was too late. He found the snake's dry skin, indicating that the animal had rejuvenated. Gilgamesh concluded that no man, no matter how strong and rich he may be, can defeat death, and he accepted his end. He returned to Uruk and, for the first time, noticed how magnificent and enduring his city was. His legacy as a good king would be the closest thing to immortality he could achieve. Gilgamesh decided to draft his story on clay tablets, forever eternalizing the name of him, his friend Enkidu, and the great adventures of both.
So yeah. Hi, John. So yeah. You know what? So I know to those it didn't like sound like something from like the Bible specifically, but still. Of what like the flood myth, like I played the video before, like the Anunnaki gods flood myth. Like, hang on. I did put some videos on like the Chosen Ones Only Can Understand playlist about like some things that like how like all mythologies are connected really at one time out of Christianity. Like still, if it's not biblical, still Abrahamic either way. See, listen to this part.
The Epic of Gilgamesh, for people who don't know, is one of the oldest versions of a lot of the stories that
The fuck? Yeah.
you hear in the Bible. There always seems to be a great flood. There's a few heroes, angry gods, there's a bunch of stuff going on. When you read some of the things that they wrote, and when you see like some of the images that they created, images that look like the double helix from DNA, and they said looks super similar to that.
This is referenced even in the Egyptian Book of the Dead and other ancient texts. So there's no coincidences here.
Epic of Gilgamesh for people.
So yeah, similar to that. Because like, okay, for some reason, it's like almost every mythology has a flood myth. So like that like kind of proves it. So hang on.
What if all the religion are come from one source? Yes, you heard that right. In ancient Hindu texts, there.
Wait, what the fuck? Come on. Hey, I'm trying to play this, yo.
What if all the
Yeah, hang on. Come on, quit glitching out. The fuck? I'm trying to show my viewers the truth. Beyond.
What if all the religion are come from one source? Yes, you heard that right. In ancient Hindu texts, there mention a flood so massive that it erased almost all life on Earth. Only one man was survived, that is Manu, who was warned about the coming destruction and told to build a massive boat to save the seeds of humanity. But wait, it's getting more shocking. In every religious we find a similar description where a man was saved from a massive. In the Bible he is called Noah, who warned about a devastating flood. Similarly, in Greece he is sent by the gods and also escaped the heavy flood. So why all the religion have same descriptions of flood? Is it possible that all the religion come from one source? Comment me below. What if all the religion are come from one source?
Similar to that. Yeah. So this live stream kind of proves like, yeah, it kind of makes sense because similar to like how all of it's a flood myth, like each mythology has a flood myth. You know how in Christianity, the first ever war was Lucifer's rebellions against God. Then you have in Greek mythology the Titanomachy, where Zeus freed his siblings, Hades, Poseidon, against his father Kronos, and rebelled against the Titans. And how in Christianity, there's the Book of Revelation, the final battle of Armageddon. And similar to Norse mythology, there's Ragnarok, where Loki, Wings, Isaiah, what's good, Blue Dragon? How you doing? Like I was just trying to say, like how in Norse mythology, how in Ragnarok, Exotic Builders. Yeah, Exotic Builders. Oh yeah, I remember that shit back in the center. Good times. Those are like the only good times I had in the center. But yeah, okay, like what you're trying to say, like how in Norse mythology, in Ragnarok is like the final battle at the end of the world and shit. How the gods and humans like Odin and of the realm of Asgard and the humans of the realm of Midgard reunite with, and Odin leads an army of the Anhiliers. Hang on, let me think. Like, yeah, the Anhiliers against Loki, who sends out a fucking army of undead monsters and giants. Yeah, like the forces of Helheim and the forces of Niflheim, like not Jotunheim. And Loki sends out his children, Fenrir and Jormungandr, where Fenrir fucking swallows Odin. Then Thor is able to kill Yermangamer, but after 4 takes 9 steps due to Yermangamer's poison, 4 dies. So yeah, similar to like how like in every like fucking end of the world and beginning time of each mythology, like what if it all happened at the exact same time? What if it like let's say what if the world began at the exact same time? Like how these realms we live in was really from a war between gods, and how similar to that one anime I used to talk about a lot, Record of Ragnarok. Like, what if the real end of the world is humanity rebelling against the gods? Like, my own version of the end of the world I have predicted, like how Project Bluebeam in World War III would happen with how the resurrection of the old gods like Yaldabaoth and the Archons, the Watchers and the Nephilim, the Titans and Typhon, and the Canaanite gods like Baal and Moloch, and the Babylonian gods and the Mayan gods teaming up to like wipe out humanity. Similar to that, but I know something I've kind of learned by my own. If you want to survive from the gods, listen to this very carefully, those that want to know this, to survive from the apocalypse of gods. If you want to know how to destroy kill a god, remember this: use its power against itself. You see, something like this, like let's say this thing, I can't just kill a god with this thing. You must use its own power against itself. Even if it ends your own life, even if you have to risk your whole life with it, it's still surviving, like saving humanity either way. Like how, if you guys are familiar with Highlander, if you want to defeat someone, like if you want to end someone's life that is immortal, like someone who can't die, it's by slicing out the head. That's how you defeat someone who's immortal, like who can't die. That's how you kill them, like you by like taking off the head, like you slice out their head off. So yeah, all of this, yeah, this is like one of the reasons why I started the Chosen Ones so I can understand, because like that's like one of the reasons why I left the Mormon church and stuff. And damn, I forgot to mention, it's been a long damn time since we did Chosen Ones so I can understand. But anyways, promise you all, tomorrow we'll do a Vancouver quest. I think it's part 25. Yeah, it's part 25, I think. And what else? What else are we doing? Oh yeah, I found some more stuff I guess we'll talk about for Chosen Ones only can understand. So, all of you, for like the upcoming Fridays, yeah, we're going to talk about some more Chosen Ones only can understand. All of you have a great day. And oh yeah, Marvel the King is like 3 or 2 days. Yeah, 4 days away. Like, hang on. No, let me think. Monday. Yeah, 3 days away. All right. MLK Day is 3 days away. All of you have a good weekend and happy Martin Luther King Day. Silly John. Wait, what do you mean? Silly John. Griffith says. Hey, I'm not going to end it for a second. I just want to like. Wait, what do you mean, silly John? Like, John's just being a positive dude. Like. Maybe he's being silly, but like, hang on. Griffith, etc. I don't know how to say your name. 7668. What do you mean? Like, how is John being silly? Like, I get by the like he's in Portland, Oregon, but like, he's just being a positive dude. What do you mean? I want to wait for a second. I want to like wait for like what they mean by that. He just left. I guess he's not going to reply. Anyways, I guess I'll end it here. See you guys tomorrow for Vancouver Quest.